welcome back.
Welcome back, everyone.
Oh my God.
Today's episode, we're your hosts, actually.
We are your hosts,
Karina.
Erica. And if you can't tell, if you're not watching the YouTube, which you should.
Yes.
If you're not, we have a special guest.
Maya. Woo! Clap, 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 clap.
Yes. This is our first guest appearance. We've been talking about this for a while to have like a guest. And then we were thinking of like who
we want on this podcast.
And Karina was like, I want Maya to be on the podcast.
Honestly, the only name that came to my mind was like Maya because of, we talk about it later, but like because of her experience and then what she can bring to the podcast that we both can't. Like we can talk about what she can.
Yes.
So Maya, do you want to like introduce yourself a little bit?
Okay, so my name's Maya. Well, I can say that I met Karina and Erica, through my roommate Anesu. They were all in residence together, and then we just became so close. It really helped that they stayed together in Toronto that one summer. That was fun. We spent so much time together.
It was fun.
But yeah, I'm from Toronto, so I came to Mac in COVID, which really sucked. But I was, I always wanted to do science degree. So I started like Life Science Gateway, and then now I'm in biology. And yeah, a couple of my roommates, Zoe and Anisi, are also in bio. So we have like a bio commerce house.
Yes. Oh, we are roommates. We didn't say that.
Yeah, we are roommates.
We are roommates. Yeah.
And before we get into that, can I just say I'm dressed as Karina today for Halloween?
Oh yeah, I'm dressed as Anisi.
And I'm dressed as Emily.
So we are all dressed up as our roommates. But yeah, we thought, because like, Maya, you said you are in sciences and you're from Toronto, which is like what you said earlier about like not like having something that's different from the two of us, because we're both in commerce, but we're talking about business.
Wait, sorry.
Is there an ad? Yeah, because you said how like Maya has a different like she can bring different things to the table.
Oh yeah,
different topics. Because me and Karina was talking about business this, business that, internship this, LinkedIn that.
Yeah.
And then Maya's like she's in sciences and she grew up here and everything. Like she's
very different from us.
Yeah. So we wanted to like see and talk about that kind of stuff.
And like I guess also tied it up back to we're all feeling kind of the same, because me and you were talking the other day in the house of how we're like feeling down. So like
it's like around like this time, I think it's just like everything's piling up, and then like especially because we're in fourth year, and then it's like all these thoughts are just like in my brain, and then they just feel so like all I want to do is like relax about it, or like just take a step back. And then we were all like, you just want to like escape.
Yeah. That's how I feel too, what I've been feeling. And then I was talking to my friend who also, I said that in the last episode, she's feeling the same. I was talking to a girl from my class today. She said the exact same thing.
I swear everyone's going through the same thing.
Yeah, it's like it's always around this time of year.
Yeah, so it's
but
just fall.
I feel like people always say that it's like, oh, it's just the season, but then it's the same thing in winter. And it's just it just doesn't go away. It's just new season, new depression.
You don't hear that in summer though.
Yeah, that's the only time I don't hear it.
Because it's warm.
Yeah, but
yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but then this year for me it's definitely like way worse. Because it's fourth year.
I don't know. For me, I honestly don't think it's this season, because it hasn't been that bad. I'm okay with the cold. I just think like I'm so
burnt out. Like I feel like this semester has been like one of the hardest, because not even about my school, but because of like my like applications. And then I feel so busy, and then it just like turns into a cycle of me being busy and burnt out, and then I feel like, oh, I just need to escape, I need to relax. And I don't think I've ever felt this like consumed by so much going on ever until now.
How do you feel now that you've submitted your applications?
Well, I submitted like the first round, but like I have another round coming up.
Oh, so it's not even done yet?
No. it's not going to be done for like these looming thoughts of like applications and getting in. It's not going to be like done until I've heard back from everything. Yeah, I'm applying to med school, which is exciting.
Yeah, so Maya's doing bio in bio. Doing this again.
One time.
One time.
She's doing bio in school, and then she's applying to med school, obviously. A question about that. How did you choose to do bio, I guess? Or was it always like you wanted to do med school? You knew that?
Yeah, like Mac is kind of weird. Like I remember talking to Anisi, like this whole process of choosing our program was kind of like really like hit or miss, and plus like it had a lot to do with like inflated grades from COVID, so we both ended up like getting into bio only, and like it was a little bit like we didn't like it at first, but then there's a lot of leniency with electives, so I finished like everything that I needed to accomplish for med school very early. So then now I've just been doing like electives, and I didn't have to take as many classes. And I still got a thesis, which was really great because it's not even required for my program. But I always knew that I wanted to do medicine. I think my reasoning was just, it was very broad. Like both my parents are doctors, so a lot of influence from the family and just being around healthcare. But like the reasoning why really came out in third year. I hadn't really, like everyone finds a focus. Everyone is like, has some sort of upbringing, or, their grandparent had some sort of illness, their sibling. Everyone has like some sort of background story that makes them like, oh, I want to go into brain neurosurgery because,
cancer.
I had,
like a life event or something. Or a person.
A lot
an
of them
aneurysm
like
or something. Yeah, exactly. But like, I didn't really want to talk about my family's like illnesses or whatnot. So my reasoning why really came out in third year, being like where I want to apply to and what I want to do and where I want to practice. But yeah,
that's so cute.
Why?
Like
how?
Like her reasoning and stuff. Because like what you were saying about like for a lot of people, it comes from personal history with that illness or something like that. And I'm not saying anything about those people. That's great because you guys want to help. But then like I think like Maya's case, when it just that's your passion, that's what you want to do just because. I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
Like you found something, like you want to help specifically Indigenous people, and like what you want to do. I find it so amazing.
Yeah, because I feel like, I don't know about you, but like I always struggle finding that.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I feel like for the longest time it was like really hard because everyone has this like passion.
Yeah.
Like, everyone cares. Everyone in medical school is smart, and everyone applying, like obviously they have empathy and all these qualities. Like you really have to find a why of like not just my family has like mental illnesses, but I'm not gonna like I didn't want to like use
leverage
that like, or like I have personal issues about body image, like I don't want to use that to say I want to go into plastics or something, like I want to go into a certain field to like help women, like there's a lot of like, you think that sounds good, but don't just do something because you think it sounds good. Like do it because in your heart like this is what you're meant to do. That's what a lot of people are like, oh, like I'll choose this career because like obviously I care and I want to help people, but like you have to be extremely committed to a certain thing. And it's not enough to just have empathy and be smart. Like it takes a lot of like perseverance.
We have a question. Do you think like if your parents aren't doctors, would you still like be in this path? You think so?
Like obviously like your parents shape so much. Like if my parents were both lawyers, I bet I'd be like taking the LSAT right now.
Yeah.
But like
I was gonna ask like if they were like lawyers or like if they were in finance.
I mean, I think like all three of my siblings are not in medicine. Like my brother is afraid of blood. So and like at first my sister thought medicine was her path, but like it was so clearly destined for like social work. And you know, like everyone in my family has different interests. Like my other sister, you know, I couldn't see her in medicine even though she's grown up with 2 parents as doctors. I think it's always just I've been drawn to sciences. I'm good at memorizing. And I'm very emotional, which I think I need to control, obviously, when I'm a doctor.
Yeah.
But it helps me be a little bit more empathetic and be a little bit more, like, thinking about diverse perspectives.
Since you talked about, like, your family, you said you have 3 siblings. How is it being the youngest sibling? And then me and Eric, we were talking about how both you and Eric are the youngest. Like, it's very different for you because you have 3 older siblings. That's very different from having just one. And then your difference with them is also a lot bigger.
And then you're the oldest. So
and I'm the oldest.
Yeah.
Wait, that's not why we chose to sit like this.
Wait, what's the age difference between you and your siblings?
My eldest sister is 13 years older, and then my next sister is 9 years older, and then my brother's 7 years older.
Oh,
so
that is
13,
a big gap, because mine's
9,
just 5.
7.
Yeah. It is, like, drastic, and everyone, like, when they find that out, they're like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, you are a baby. I'm like, yep.
You are a baby in the
And
family.
you're the youngest, like, not just the family, but, like, within, like, your extended as well, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you're a baby
She's
baby.
baby.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That's, like, fully 180 from me. I'm the oldest.
Really? I've
Yeah.
always wanted, like, people my age, or, like, siblings, or, like,
Same.
like cousins.
I'm,
or
like, in the middle, so I can't really say anything.
So how is it, like, growing up with having, first of all, they're so much older. Like, I just can't imagine growing up and having, like, a 13-year-old near you.
I know. Like,
It's so crazy.
I always talk, like, that I was raised by, like, 5 parents.
That's so cute, though.
They were all, like, adults by the time, like, you know, I had just been, like, I was, like, 8 years old. Like, it's insane. Not all of them, but it just, like, felt like everyone matured really fast because everyone was, like, always fighting for a say at the table. And especially me, like, I gained this maturity and, like, this sense of, like, I could talk to my teachers, or, like, I could talk to authority figures as if I was older as well, because I was so used to, like, always having to defend myself, always having to speak out for myself. And, like, that kind of made things really hard because I was very, you know, in school I could be a little bit annoying. Or,
Like, too pushy?
Yeah, or especially, like, talking back to my teachers, like, got me in trouble a lot.
Oh.
So,
Do you think you need to, like, because you're the youngest, you need to speak louder and then have your, like, point more, like, I guess,
Or like, do you think they don't take you seriously just because you're young?
yeah, for sure. Especially because, like, when you have to say something and then they say, what's your experience on it? Or,
yeah.
like, what have you gone through? I've gone through this.
And that.
You weren't even alive for this.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you feel the same way?
I don't really. Because,
like, not your brother, maybe your cousins or, like, someone else in your family.
No, not, like, to an extreme. Sometimes maybe they'll joke about it, but they wouldn't. I don't think I felt like that. For me, like, it was just more of, like, little things, like, oh, like, always being stuck in the middle seat in the car.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Or, like,
it's funny, though.
being pushed to the kids' table, you know.
But then
kind of
it's funny because then I grew so tall.
Yeah.
And then it was like, everyone thinks that, especially, like, my sister Sonia, like, everyone thinks we're twins.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, like, it started to get really funny when I got older about,
Wait.
like,
Yeah. Tell the audience how tall you are.
oh, I'm 6'2".
And is that, like within your family, that's average, right? Or, like,
Yeah, like, I would say it's, like, I'm second tallest. Essentially.
Tallest?
Yeah, like, my brother is around, like, 6'4". I'm 6'2". My dad was taller than me, but he shrunk a bit.
Yeah, my dad
like,
shrunk so much too.
He's, like, 6'1" now, 6 feet.
But still, everyone's really tall.
Yeah. It's funny, my mom always jokes, like, she was the tallest one in her town in India.
Oh.
And then, like, she comes here and she's so short. Like, they all make fun of her.
That's so
Wait,
cute.
how tall is your mom?
She's that short. She's, like, 5'8", 5'9".
Yeah,
She's
that's
taller
not-
than I am.
Yeah, she's tall. No, all of them are tall. I go to my house and everyone's just like, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's the thing. You'll see, like, the ceilings are high.
Okay, I would, like on that perspective, like you guys are saying how like they treat you as a baby, or like say like you don't have an experience or anything. I can say from my perspective of being the oldest, it's so funny how like I can see my sister or my cousins are doing the exact same same thing I did. Like it's crazy how similar it is, especially when it's your same family, you know, like cousins, like my sister. She has this same like tantrums or the way she talks or like certain things, and it's exactly the same. And I'm saying the things to her that like my mom used to tell me, because like that's just like how psychology works. Yeah. And then I'm like, wait, she's literally acting like me.
And you're becoming your mom.
Yeah, and it's like when you see that and when it clicks that she's acting the way I did, like it's so crazy. Like you can see, you know how we dressed as each other today? Yeah. Like it's crazy. Like you're seeing yourself.
That's so. I can't.
That's why whenever like I feel like
that.
Whenever like sisters or brothers tell you advice, like older sisters, brothers, I'm not saying that mothers and fathers don't have valuable advice, but then when it's sisters and brothers, first of all, they're closer to your age, so they kind of can relate a little bit more than parents. But then second of all, you guys are probably so much alike that you don't even realize.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know.
Like you don't like I feel well, I'm talking from my experience, but like you don't understand it till you're at that age.
Till I'm at that age.
Yeah. Because I know my mom used to tell me that. She would be like, oh, Karina, you just don't understand because you're not that old. And I'm like, no, you don't understand, you know, like that.
Actually, no, that's kind of true, because I can see, like, because my brother also went to, like, he went to Waterloo, so it's like close, similar culture, you know, all that. So then I never really heard him talk about his college experience at all, like when I was younger, when he was in university. And then I just don't remember him saying anything about it, maybe like very like briefly. He was always so busy. Now that I'm here and I'm telling him my experiences right now, he's like, yeah, I know what you mean. Like I was there. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, so this is how he felt when he was like at this time. Yeah.
So it's weird because like, you know, especially during COVID, there was this whole like thing in my family about like me telling people that they don't understand. Like, it was this like, you know, my brother would always talk about college years and how like he had so much fun and like all of these experiences that he made and how they fostered like his work experiences, how he needed all those
connections.
Exactly. And then when I'd be like, oh, like I feel so alone in the first year because I'm online. My only friend is an EC, and we just like literally. And he'd be like, no, I understand. I'm like, nobody understands me.
You're like, you don't understand.
I even thought like Anisi sometimes wouldn't understand me because I felt like I gave up. But then I was like, no, we're the only two people who understand each other because we're completely, like all of our friends left to go, you know, like to different schools, and they had res, and like we were the only people alone who chose this school that like, so I'm like, you know, they do offer advice, but then I felt like at that time it wasn't relatable. But I do see like a lot of the time how I can relate. Like my siblings give me advice, and then I'm like, wow, I'm acting a lot like my siblings right now.
You don't understand it till
maybe a little bit, like because you did start university in COVID
for sure.
That's the thing that makes it different than their experiences. I feel like they didn't go to Canadian universities, did they?
Like, my sisters did. My brother went to in the States. But my sister went to like McGill. So like, very, you know, first year is very important for Frosh and dorm life and But looking back, you know, everything worked out. Hindsight, but
that's what we always say. Like everything works out at the end. Yeah. But then honestly, it's just like I used to say the same thing. Like nobody will understand our year. Like it's fact. Like nobody will understand how it is to, like I didn't get my graduation for high school, and it was like that was one thing that I was looking forward since I was in grade 5 probably. And you guys know how important like events are to me.
Yeah.
So like, and then we didn't get the whole like Frosh week and res and all of that, and like nobody will understand that. That's just that's a fact. But then also you're not alone because there's so many people like that. Yeah. Like our whole year.
It's like that's like you're not alone. But then it's like
it feels alone.
It feels.
It definitely feels alone. Yeah. Even if you have we have each other, it's also it still feels lonely sometimes.
Like, even though I had an EC and we were relating on, like, every level, FaceTiming all the time, like, it was still me in my room.
Yeah.
No one to, like, go on walks with until it was, like, okay and safe. And it was just so, like, you just hear all this stuff about you. It's like you get your hopes up.
Exactly.
Yes. I remember asking all my friends who started university before I did, because I kind of took like a quote unquote gap year. They all like had it earlier, and they were like, "Oh, I would ask them like, how do you make friends? How do you meet all these people that you're hanging out with?" They're like, "Oh, Fresh Week, like there's so many events.
Yeah.
The whole week is just you making your friends." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do." And then it was my turn, and then it was COVID, so I was like, "Okay, how am I gonna do that now?"
Yeah.
But we got lucky because we had rest.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's different experiences.
Well, I wouldn't even found you guys if you didn't have res. So
that's true.
Yeah. Like everything kind of works out at the end, but I just took that in. I was like, okay, that's just our life.
Yeah.
COVID, it is what it is. You can't change that. And then you just have to. But also, I think I'm gonna say it again, but it goes back to human psychology. we always feel like we're the only ones.
Oh.
Like it's just like the fact that like no one understands. It's a little bit of like teenage behavior as well. Like when you're a teen, it's a thing when you're like rebellious and you're like, nobody understands me. Like I know better than all of you guys. So like I think for us, because it was still like we were like what 18, 19, that's still very young, and we were like feeling, and then the whole world that happened, and we're like, okay, no. Actually, no one understands me like right now.
Yeah.
So I just have to struggle.
Yeah. But you know what's crazy? I feel like if we hadn't had Raz and all that, we haven't met unless we haven't met you, I don't think the three of us would be friends.
Would be podcasting right now.
Yeah, I honestly don't think so. Even though we're in the same program,
I
feel like we wouldn't like
Probably.
connect like that.
You never know. I honestly don't know.
I have like no
don't
other
know.
commerce friends except you.
Exactly. We definitely won't like see.
We
Maya
definitely
at all.
don't have any bio friends.
We even see you on campus all and like
Same.
Also, we
Yeah,
don't even
yeah,
cross
yeah.
paths. Yeah. Me and Karina, I don't know.
We probably could have like seen each other in class.
We definitely would like.
but I don't know
each
if
other.
we were like essentially friends.
Maybe if we like sit together and then we like actually start talking.
Yeah.
But again, and that's too, we wouldn't like see
we
her.
wouldn't.
For sure, we wouldn't
For
see
sure.
her.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Because she'd be a hermit.
Yeah. In her room.
That's true. So everything kind of works out
Yeah.
at the end of it.
No, I
Yeah.
was thinking like the feeling of being alone. It's like I've been feeling that also, like especially Arin and I about like med school because you know my parents. It was so different for them applying, and there wasn't even a like. My mom's like the way she became a doctor. You know, she went straight from high school.
Straight to med school. Oh wow.
Like
Wait, did she do her med school in India?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that like normal?
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing for us. You go straight to med
High
school.
school and then
You don't
like-
have uni and then med
Oh.
school. You have just
a
have
lot
med
of
school.
like EU.
Oh wait, I think
schools.
us too. I think so.
Yeah. So like doing a bunch of tests. like
Yeah.
chemistry, physics, whatnot,
Yeah.
and then going straight to med school. And my dad did the MCAT, but it was like, you know, he went to med school out of third year in Nova Scotia. So like,
Oh, Nova Scotia.
but then when I tell them about, you know,
What you were doing.
requirements and MCAT scores, when I tell them about extracurriculars and research requirements, they're like, that's unheard of. They
Yeah.
don't even, they're like, how long is the MCAT? I'm like, it's like 7.5 hours. They're like, what? Yeah, like that's why I also felt alone, because although they're doctors, although they've been through the grind and like,
Yeah.
especially my mom has gone through so much school in multiple countries, like it's still extremely different and if not more competitive now. Like you can't just be smart. You can't just care about people. There's so much more to it.
Yeah.
And there's so much more that's like very nuanced. That's like, it shouldn't even be a requirement. Like if you miss one step, it doesn't matter that you have all this prerequisite. Like if you didn't take one class, but you like literally won a Nobel Prize, it still doesn't matter. Like,
Oh.
So you have to be like very cautious.
very cautious about all these things that you need to know from the beginning, what courses you need to take, studying really hard for entrance exams, and like the fact that they accept so little people. It's just like when I tell my parents, like, I'm trying so hard, I'm working so hard, and I know that I've given it my best shot, but sometimes that's not going to be enough, and
You
I have
don't
to
know if it's going to be enough.
Yeah. I'm so praying, and everyone is praying. Like, I literally...
We are.
Everyone just... This is a group effort to get us in, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes it's just like, you just have to work really hard, and then submit what you can, and then just pray. That's what I've been doing.
Honestly, though, you're giving it your best shot. Like, I'll sound like a grandma now. But if you tried your best, I don't think there's anything more you can do.
Yeah.
Like, it goes to, like, to everything in life. I keep reminding that to myself as well. Like, with jobs and stuff. Obviously, I'm not applying to med school, so I can say it's as hard or anything. But it's still, like, there's always a lot of pressure and stuff like that. And, like, I feel like I can sleep at night if I know I've given it my best shot.
Yeah.
If it's not enough, then, oh, well, I tried.
Yeah.
Then there's something else out there.
Do you guys think, like, where do you think you get that pressure from? Like, is it just yourself? Like, do you give yourself the most pressure, or, like, family or, like, people around you?
I feel like being the youngest, I actually have, like, the least pressure.
I would say so,
because
too.
I have so much support, like, endless amount of support and love that people will be there. Of course, like, they want me to succeed and they want me to work hard, and they're not going to take anything less than that. But, like, if I don't, like, I'm not saying that, like, I'm trying not to succeed, but it's more like,
if anything happens,
like, they will be there and they will still support me through other, like, programs or, you know, other experiences that I need to get to go to med school in the end of the day. But, like, I put a lot of pressure on myself, I guess, because although, like, they're not putting that pressure on me, I'm a container, and I feel like they would, like, still be disappointed, and their disappointment makes me disappointed. And
so it's a vicious circle.
It is a vicious circle. And it's like...
No, that's so true, though. I feel that, like, 100%.
Yeah, I always, like, have this problem of making, like, everyone's emotions, like, making them my own. And, like, I'm so scared of what people will think about
you.
Yeah, and the worst case scenarios about if I don't get in, if I don't even get, like, an interview. Like, I'm just scared to tell people because so many people are supporting me in this. Oh, it's shifted.
Oh, thank you, Maya. Anyways, so about pressure, you know how you said you feel like they're not putting any pressure on you, but you put it a lot more on yourself? I don't know if it's because I'm the oldest, but I think for me, it's like they put pressure on me without understanding that they do.
Oh.
Because, like, as the oldest, and I've had this conversation with my parents a lot, because I feel so pressured to do things. And, like, it's not necessarily one time we sat down and they were like, okay, you should do this and this and that. But just, like, little comments that I hear from here and there. And, like, oh, you should stay in Canada. Or, like, oh, you should do this in Canada. But, like, what if I don't want to? And now I'm like, I wouldn't say I'm so scared to tell them I don't want to. But it's definitely been a hard road to tell my parents, like, oh, actually, maybe I want to do something else or something like that. And again, my family is very supportive. They've always been. But because I'm the oldest, like, I've always had that. Like, when I was in school at some point, I didn't want to be a student anymore. But because all my grandparents would say, look at Karina, to my cousins who are so much younger, they would be like, look at Karina. He's doing so good at school. Like, I felt pressure that I still have to keep on doing that.
Because you want to set a good example.
But then, yeah, because I want to set an example. But then again, every single time I go home, I tell all my cousins, I'm like, guys, you don't have to be like me. 'Cause that's my, like, I'm so scared of that. If they're going to have that image of, like, oh, we need to be like Karina. Like, I don't want them to have that. And I always, like, okay, you are your own person. Like, if you want to do this, do this. If you want to have B's, D's, C's, I don't care. Do whatever. Like, as long as you're happy, and if I can help you with something, then I'll do it. But then I don't want you to be like me or, like, you know.
Like, sometimes I feel like although, you know, like my siblings and my parents are still like, you know, they're pressuring me about like school and grades, although they're always going to be supportive at the end of the day, I feel like it's helped me become more hardworking. Like, I definitely feel I wouldn't be as good of a student if my like brother and my dad didn't push me to, you know, always do more than the teacher asks, like always going above and beyond, reaching out, you know, always speaking up in class. Like I talk in every single class that I've ever been in, and maybe it's because I like hearing my voice.
Mai's gonna listen to this episode nonstop.
No, but I like to connect with people, and like I really like to make other people know that they're heard, and that helps me learn. So when people pay more attention and they know that I'm more eager, like, and that's something that I've learned from my family, is that you should always like do more than what you're expected. And then also like, you know, studying hard, like especially with the effort. And like I had this one like phrase that was like, you can like, if you gave it your 100%, then you can say that you tried your best. But if you didn't study like 100%, like let's say you missed that one chapter, you didn't review one more time, you can't go into the exam, or you can't say that you did everything. And that's what I'm like always like, let me just do everything, and then whatever grade I get, I know that I did everything, and then I have no regrets because I did everything. So if whatever grade I got was the grade I was going to get, the highest grade I could have gotten. You know?
You're such a good kid, Maya.
I was about to say, it's such a like, it's such a good dynamic in the family that you still feel so supported and so loved, but then at the same time they're still pushing you.
Yeah,
like I feel like
that's
it's
so important.
It's so hard to get though. Like, imagine being a parent and having to like be somewhere in between of like pushing your kid, but then still be so loving and so caring that they don't feel like they can go, like the kid can go and talk to you.
Yeah.
Well, it's also very different because like I feel like out of all my siblings, I'm the only one who feels that dynamic.
I was gonna say, because you
like
you have 3 older siblings, right?
Because they've
No
been
one has
tested
ever,
on.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like no one
That's
has
so true,
ever
though.
felt that support plus the pressure. Everyone wants me to succeed, and I think like everyone, like all my other siblings, you know, they've been through so much that I wasn't alive for, that they've kind of like become more independent and less, you know, reliant or like thinking about what my parents think or what other people in the family think. But because, you know, everyone cares about me, they want me to succeed. Like, I take everything to heart, and I'm very like, you know, I really think about what everyone has to say.
For sure.
Yeah.
No, that's so true. Like, I don't know about you, but like the whole older sibling thing about having that support system, like, because I'm also one of the youngest ones, not just my family, but within the extended. And my brother is so like, he's achieved so much. I would just always hear like, oh, like if anything goes wrong, like you always have him, or if I encounter like an issue, they're like, oh, go ask him. But they all mean really well. But it's like sometimes it's just like you don't want to hear that. It's like, oh, like it's like that's your backup. Like you can always go off for him. But I want to, you know, like exactly. I feel like it's obviously it's good, and I'm very grateful for that support system. But it's also sometimes just like, oh yeah, like everyone's like, yeah, just go to him. Like you have him.
Yeah. No, I can't like. I always say to my cousins and my sister that I'm there for them because I miss that so much.
That's so important though.
Yeah, that's
I
what all
felt
my
so-
siblings say.
Yeah,
They were like, no one was ever there for me the way that I'm there for you. Like,
Yeah, no.
you're so lucky.
You guys are saying right now, I'm like about to tear up. I swear to God. Because for me, because I'm also like, I have an older cousin, like extended, but then we weren't really close. And then the only, like, our difference is 2 years. So basically nothing. And then I feel like I'm just a lot more mature than he is. So, like, I feel like I'm the oldest. So I don't have that, like, oh, I can, like, turn to someone. Like, I have my parents, I have my aunts and stuff.
It's not the
But it's not the same. so I always tell my like cousins and stuff, I'm like, if you guys need anything, like ask me, I'm here.
Yeah.
But then when I think about it, like, I feel like that's why I bottle up a lot. Because I can't, like, I feel like I shouldn't tell other people about how I feel because they all see me as such a, like, figure. You know how you always talk about your brother?
I think he feels the same way.
Like
probably.
put that together, like
every
time
that's what they
yourself.
think of me,
Yeah.
100%. Because every time I talk to them, they're like, "Oh my God, Karina, your life, like you are doing everything. You've got everything so like perfect." And I'm like, sure, but then
Yeah, I can't even imagine like this. You know, like I have this thing with my sister. Like, if I lose something or if something's going wrong, I will start hyperventilating. I call her right away. She calms me down. Like, her being in social work is such a blessing because she's so good at talk. She was also like the mediator of our family problems.
is she the middle?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So like, I cannot even begin to imagine like not having, you know, just single-handedly people who know everything about you and like related to you, and they can just offer their support and like even about the simplest things. Like I would get like scared about someone perceiving me. It's like best friends.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, you know, they've gone through so much too. And although they try and project, like, don't do this, don't make the same mistakes I did, but, like, I can truly, like, when I go through, like we said, like, when I go through those experiences and I'm like, oh, like, I can see where someone who maybe, like, she told me, like, somebody, like, drank too much and then it ended in this. Oh, I think about that a lot more, like, not, like, I don't want to be like my siblings, but more like, I want to be more concerned about my safety. I want to, like, prioritize this. And it's like so much of their support has helped me like grow.
Do you ever wish you had like a younger sibling?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Like a lot. I have a dog. Ba.
Shut up, Ba.
But Ba is like old and now people respect him more than me. Yeah. Ba is like an elder.
Oh.
He's very yeah. I do sometimes wish like I had someone who I could shape and mold and like become, you know, like I could share my mistakes but then I'm like, oh, that's
You'll
for when
kids.
I have a kid.
That's true.
Yeah, and I can
Literally, you'll have kids. It's fine.
And you said you used to wish you had an older or
I wish I had an older sibling when I was like young.
Sibling. Yeah.
Because for 7 years I was alone. Like I was literally
That's
alone.
crazy to me. Like I can't imagine
7
that.
years I would spend my like evenings and stuff. Like obviously friends, but then when you're young, you're like, and I wasn't the kid who would like. You guys would assume I'm the one who's like going outside and like, hey, let's go play. I was really shy when I was a kid. Okay, not really shy, but if I wasn't in the situation where I had to talk, I wouldn't talk.
But you know, at least for me, actually, I know a lot of like grandmas, like grandparents, they love the first kid the most.
That's me.
Yeah,
I know
there
I'm
you
my
go.
grandma's favorite, like
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, that's actually really true.
It's true, right?
And I spent the most time with her. Because
that's what
my grandma was my best friend.
first child in the family.
Yeah. So I would like all my like Barbie grocery store. I don't know if you guys play that.
I
We
did.
played like
Yeah,
grocery store. I played library. I'm crazy. And all of that was with my grandma.
Yeah.
And she would take me everywhere. She would cook me everything. So me and my grandma, it's definitely like even because she gets close for every single person, like every girl in the family, every time she goes away. And like for me, it's always something better than everyone else, or like it's something like more than my mom, who's her firstborn. But like for me, it's always something.
Because you're the grandchild.
Yeah, and then she always calls me. I thought it's for every like grandchildren, but apparently it's just me. She calls me her. How do you translate? Like I guess a medicine, like pill.
Oh, like a happy little pill.
Yeah, basically, because whenever she's sick, when I was young, when she was sick, she would like just ask me to come. Oh my God, I'm actually gonna start crying.
Stop.
She would ask me to come and then just hug her, and she was like, "Okay, now I'm feeling better because you're like my medicine."
Oh,
I miss my grandma. I would call my grandma, and then she would like, cause she's getting really old, right? So she like forgets that I'm like not next to her, on the phone. She would like caress my head, like on my mom's phone. She caressed my mom's phone, thinking that it's me, thinking that I would feel it. Yeah,
that's so sweet. It's hard, like when your grandparents are in a different country. Like, I think like that's the thing. Like all your family is basically overseas, but only my mom's side is in India, and it's hard because we don't go that often to India, so I haven't seen like my family since like 2016
before COVID.
Yeah, so like it's been a really long time. You know, the relationship that you have with your like grandparent, like I don't know when it clicked for me, but like remembering that that's my mom's mom.
Yeah.
And like now I'm gonna cry. Like when you
just
think,
crying season.
When you think like, oh, like how much your mom means, or like I'm extremely close with my mom. Like how much my mom means to me, and then how much your grandma means to my mom. Like, and then the fact that she's
overseas.
And then my mom hasn't seen her in so long, and then it's like if I can't even imagine. I like call my mom 3 times a day.
She does.
I literally called her right before this podcast. Like,
she did.
Like, it's just, and especially like I'm not extremely close with my mom's side, partially because I don't speak Hindi.
Yeah.
But like, I know she still wakes up at like early in the morning, so the time difference, and she can call, and it's like insane. I sometimes, you know, like, do you guys ever think? I saw this one tweet that was like, remember that your mom was like when did it hit for you that your mom was like a woman with her own goals and her own
I saw that on TikTok. It was, but it wasn't for me and my mom. It was like when did it hit for like parents, for both of you?
Yeah,
it hit I think like a year ago or so for me. And I was like, what the, like, it actually mind blowing.
It's like insane.
I think as I grow older, I can see like my mom's pretty like open with like what I want to do and want to go and stuff. Like growing up in high school, for example, like I always the kid who like my mom says yes to everything. I could always go out and go have fun and all that. And like traveling, she's very like encouraging with that. And then I realized now it's because she never got that, and that's what she really wanted to do. Like studying abroad, like what I'm doing right now, traveling, seeing all these things. It's like it's her dream. That's why she's so. That's why she's so encouraging of it.
Oh my god, I can't.
But she was, I don't know, like, yeah. So,
but like when I think about like things I didn't do. Like I never went to camp.
Yeah,
and it was my dream.
Yeah,
like my mom never allowed it. And then they allowed Shakira to go to camp. I literally almost cried.
Oh,
and then I was telling them how like, please, things you didn't allow me. Like I turned out fine, and I'm sure if I went there, I would turn out fine as well.
Did they have a reason why they let Shakira go? Is it just like they're more?
I was actually pissed for a bit.
Honestly, I would
excuse me. No, some things I'm not pissed, but like some things I am, because my mom was very strict about like hair. Like I had to pull the hair up always for school when my friends would go just like with hair down. I understand it now, but then they allow Shakira to go like that, and I'm like,
well, I mean,
excuse
you were
me.
the first child; they were very protective of everything.
Yeah, and then my parents agree with that. They're like, you were the test. Sorry,
you were the test. Yeah.
No, literally. And then I was talking to my best friend's parents. There are 4 of them in the family. She's the oldest. And they were saying the exact same thing. They were like, yeah, she was a test. So that's why normally I see that, like, older children, they're very, like, a lot more put together in a way in terms of, like, they don't allow themselves to do a lot of things. Like, when they grow older, like, for me now, there are some things that I wouldn't do because I'm, like, I can't. Like, in my brain, it just doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like a lot of things I'm telling them to allow Shakira because I'm like, please.
It's weird because like in my family, like my parents did get a lot like less strict with me, but I got a lot more strict with myself.
I thought you were gonna say your siblings.
No, like I think it's more like because my siblings kept on putting it into my brain that like
probably
you have like nobody cares if you do this now, like you're coddled, like all this stuff about, you know, no one's checking about this when I was your age. So like I made sure that I was being my own, like enforcing certain things. Of course, like there's some things where I'm like, okay, I know I'm spoiled. Okay. Like, first of all, I always have to make this point. I'm like, if you were in my position and your parents were offering you like everything that they did now, and you're young, and
you never say no.
You would never say no. Plus, you're a kid. Like you're gonna go on vacation with them.
Of course,
you're gonna do all and experience all these things because you're a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're gonna go to the schools that they want you to go to, and you're not gonna protest. Oh, like, there's just too much money.
Yeah, you're never gonna do that as a kid.
And also, your parents are not gonna say no.
Your parents are not gonna argue with you about decisions they want to make. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. Also, like, now that my parents are making more, because they weren't making as much money when they had my 3 other siblings, but now that they're making, like, they're gonna want to spend.
Yeah, obviously.
Or they're gonna want to spend it on the last kid who.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's still a kid.
Who's still a kid. So like, I'm sorry that but this is just how it turned out, and that's why it's been ingrained. Like I am spoiled, and I have like so much that I like make sure that I save, and make sure that like whatever I do, I'm so frugal. Like I don't. Of course, I'm spending money on education and whatnot, and you know my parents are funding like my food bill and my rent, but like I'm so frugal about decisions. I care extremely about how I spend my parents' money.
Yeah, you don't take it for granted.
Yeah, in fact, it makes like my whole life I'm so afraid of spending money. Yeah,
I had this conversation today with our friend Kimia, because Kimia is also like her parents are not here; they're all in different country, and then she was saying how like you as an I guess quote unquote like international kid, you don't like not just international but like, in general like you don't just go asking for your parents' money like that. It's just hard. And I feel like sometimes, like, because, I mean, they're your parents. They're not going to say no, you know? They're always going to be there. Depends, yeah. But they're always going to be there. But then it's just like, I don't know, they're already paying for so much.
Yeah.
Tuition, rent, everything. It's like, it's hard to, like, I don't know how to say it. It's just like, you just don't ask like that.
That's true. But I think it really depends on how you were brought up. Because I know people who do that.
Yeah, that's what we're talking
about.
So
it's like, it really depends on how they brought you up. Because I completely agree with what you're saying. I'm the same. But then it's so funny that you said, like, you're so aware. And that's so good. And I hope to freaking God that my sister is like that. Because she's definitely more spoiled than I am. And I see sometimes that she doesn't understand. Like, it doesn't click to her. Like, this is a lot.
Just is like 15, though.
14, yeah. But still, like, at 14, I wasn't spending that much.
Yeah, no.
You know?
Is she spending a lot? Do you think so?
Yeah. No, she does. And the way she talks about money sometimes, or the things that she asks me, is also, like, romanticization. Did I say that?
Romanticizing, yeah.
Yes, romanticizing the whole idea about, like, Western culture and stuff. Like, every time she's like, oh, my God, Sephora, bring me, like, bum, this and that and this. And I'm like, girl, I don't even buy that for me. Or, like, I don't know, like, Rare Beauty this, Fenty that. I'm like, what? Who do you think you are? First of all, who do you think I am? Yeah. Like, I really wish that I can, like, buy everything that she wants to just give it to her. But then, partially, I don't want to do that either, because I don't want her to be, like, spoiled brat who gets everything that she wants.
Low-key, I could, like, relate to your sister when I was her age. Because, see, I was also, like, 14, and then my brother was here. And then, for me, it was, like, Taylor Swift merch. It was crazy. Because that was my Swiftie phase. And then I wanted all these merch that they don't ship to Malaysia. So I would ask my brother to get it for me. And, like...
Okay, if it was something like that, I would be more
same
understanding.
Sephora, they can get it there.
No, but it's not only Sephora. It's, like... Oh my God, Sephora, Brandy, this, that.
Yeah, but my brother he was an enabler. Like I wouldn't like ask for it because I know it's expensive, but I would like mention it to my mom, and then she would like mention it to my brother, and then he would buy it.
Okay, no, that's
so
smart.
I don't tell him anything that I want because he will buy it.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, I want a brother like that. I
then
have to
I
do
can-
everything for myself.
I see why he does it because I would do the same thing to my like cousin sister. Like if she mentions something that she wants, I will buy for her.
My brother's always now just like, send me the link. I don't want to talk. Just
Yeah.
like-
I did that for my sister last year when I was going home for Christmas. She was like, and I want this and I want that. I was like, girl, you're saying too much. Just send me like screenshots. And she did.
That's what my brother does too.
Like literally screenshots. And then I felt so old. I went to Sephora and I was like, I need this and this and this.
You
And
don't
they were
wanna,
like,
walk around and look for it.
yeah. And then they were like, okay. It's like,
Crazy.
moral of this episode, people.
Moral of the episode. We didn't.
Younger siblings rule.
That's why we're sat together.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
Yeah.
No, moral. Okay, I'll start and you guys think about it.
Why don't instead of moral, just like give one advice to.
I hate giving advice when people didn't ask for it. Actually, no, I love it, but then it's a good
thing.
thing.
Basically, an advice. Every moral that you said is an advice. Yeah. You just call it a moral.
See, it just sounds better.
Okay.
Okay, no, I just like from everything we talked
Yeah.
about today, I would just say that it's very important to understand where you are in life and how you relate or don't relate to other people. Like how Maya was saying, like she's aware of the fact that she is younger and she is spoiled, but it's just the fact that she can't change. Like it is what it is, but she is aware of that. I think it's really important, like especially in today's world, like it's so important to be aware of all of your benefits that you have, like good things that you have,
like
and
your
then
privilege.
Yeah.
that's the word, thank you. All the privilege that you have, but also obviously not privileges. What you get what he's saying.
I don't even know this, but every time Karina talks about something like important or like the moral, her voice goes down.
down.
She's like, "Don't you understand?"
My every moral goes like that.
No, but I agree with that. That's very valid. It's true. It's like, I think people like, they're so, oh, like you're so privileged, blah, blah, blah. But then I think if you recognize that and you do something about it, or like if you're, again, what you said, aware of it, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
How do you want to end your episode, Maya?
I would say that yeah, like if anyone was to take anything away, is like take a second to think about how people in your life have like, they're not just characters in your life, you're also a character in theirs, and they have their own, you know, they have their own stories and their own goals and aspirations, and not everything
Is about you.
yeah not where, you know, they may play a huge role in your life, but think about like, what do you play in theirs? What are you giving or bringing to them? And you know, how can you help them succeed, because their success can help you as well.
Yeah.
That's so valid. Damn.
Put yourself in people's shoes for a second.
Yeah. Take a walk.
Take a walk.
Take a walk. Clear your
Sleep.
mind. And don't let the season affect you like that.
Oh yeah, we're also down.
We're also like, yeah.
We've been blue.
I think it's also like when I'm like down, I'm like in my bed, and then I'm not
or on the
eating.
couch.
You love to make comments.
I just love saying that.
Girl, you're on the couch all the time too.
I
I
know.
know, but I was joking. But then I'm not eating enough. And then as soon as I eat, I feel like rejuvenated. And I'm like, I tried to like be going to the gym a lot in the summer, which I did, which is great. But I really like if the only thing I do in the day is go to the gym, I'm gonna be happy with myself, because you know
I mean, you did something.
exactly.
Mhm.
So that's gonna be my goal moving forward.
Yeah.
I feel so jacked every time I go to the gym too.
Gains.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Anyways,
that was the episode.
Thank you so much for listening, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Maya, for joining us.
Thanks, Maya. We are so happy you're our first guest.
Yes. Wouldn't have anyone else for our first guest.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Follow Maya.
No, she doesn't follow me. We will leave her Instagram in
the bio.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Said.
Exactly what she said.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Wait, no.
You can bleep it out.
You can say bye.